Trust me, this isn't the story I expected to be telling.
No kidding, Ruby Rose. This isn't the story I wanted to tell either, but then I had one too many pints of gin one evening on holiday and put a stupid poll up on my channel asking if I should review this show, and well, the people have spoken, so here we are. Never let it be said I'm not a man of my word. Now, actually watching Batwoman in the UK was a tricky prospect because it hasn't actually been released here yet, but not to worry, where there's a will, there's a way. Anyway, let's force this turd out quick so I can flush it before it stinks up the entire house. So the first episode of Batwoman kicks off with Kate Kane, played by Gozer the Gozerian, taking a little swim in a frozen lake to do some Harry Houdini escape routine. Now, I've personally jumped into mountain rivers in Scotland, which were pretty close to freezing point, and I can tell you that a girl of this size and build would be dead from hypothermia in about 5 seconds. She certainly wouldn't be having a nice leisurely swim in her skivvies. Nah, whatever. So she gets a key and unlocks her cuffs, but she's trapped beneath the ice and starts to drown, and we get a goofy flashback to a childhood accident where she lost her sister in a car crash, and that somehow gives her the strength to not die, punch her way through the ice and escape, because that's how drowning works, I guess. You can just decide not to. Then we flash over to Gotham City, where Batman disappeared a few years ago. Oh shit, are they really trying to tie this into the Dark Knight trilogy? You realise this is going to invite some pretty unfavourable comparisons, right? Nah, whatever. So everyone's given up on Batman returning, and the rich assholes of Gotham have gathered to switch off the bat symbol in a big ceremony, and it's protected by a private security firm called the Crows, led by Gozer's father, Jacob. Aw, not you, Dougray Scott. What happened to you, my son? You used to have a good career and some kind of self-respect. I don't know what they paid you to be in this, but I really hope it was worth it. Anyway, the ceremony gets attacked by a bunch of assholes called the Wonderland Gang, led by this acting powerhouse.
Hello, said Alice. Shall we believe the crows will protect us?
It's funny how she looks a little bit like Gozer's missing sister, eh? Whatever could this mean? So Alice kidnaps Sophie, one of the Crow's top operatives, and also an ex-girlfriend of Gozer. They were both in the military together, and we get a horrific flashback of the two of them making out. So Gozer finds out about this and comes back to Gotham to save her girl, but her dad's like, nah, you're not ready for this. Oh no, he didn't! Did you just assume her state of preparedness? That's the patriarchy trying to keep her down, and she's not gonna stand for that kind of nonsense. She doesn't need help from any man. So she goes to her cousin Bruce Wayne's house to ask for help. But it turns out he disappeared around the same time as Batman. Wow, what a coincidence, eh? And he left behind Science Guy to guard the place, so naturally Gozer beats him up and uses Bruce's technology to get a lead on Alice and the Wonderland Gang. Anyway, she gets to Alice's hideout and beats up a couple of guys literally twice her size, and I couldn't help but wonder why she didn't use a gun to offset the fact that she has all the size and upper body strength of a malnourished 12-year-old boy. Jesus, I've shat out things that are both heavier and scarier than this girl. But oh well, I guess the script says that reality doesn't matter anymore, so let's just stop caring about it. But then Alice shows up while she's busy door slamming a guy and clubs her over the head with a fucking cricket bat. Then we're treated to more ridiculous overacting and appalling dialogue.
I thought you'd been sent away, but now you seem to be here.
And then it's time for Bat to meet Head again. You know, brain damage is actually a thing. But eventually she recovers and goes back to Wayne Manor and beats up Science Man again. Wow, good work, sir. I can totally see why Bruce trusted you to guard all his stuff. Then Gozer immediately discovers the entrance to the Batcave, and Science Man begs her not to go in there, but she's like...
So I have this thing with the rolls.
You know, it's a total mystery why this lass couldn't cut it in the military, because they're well known for letting people just do their own thing. Anyway, she gets into the Batcave and sees all the bat stuff, and realizes that Bruce Wayne was Batman all along.
Why are you dressed up like Batman?
Because he is Batman, you moron.
Wow, she really figures stuff out fast, eh? It's almost like the script is trying to jam about 3 hours worth of characterization and plot development into a 45-minute TV episode via a combination of miraculously simple puzzles and astounding leaps of deductive logic. But then again, maybe that's just me. So she decides to just help herself to all of Bruce Wayne's stuff, delivers her classic line,
It will be. When it fits a woman.
and then goes after Alice to kick some ass. And because plot convenience is literally the only thing holding this absolute nonsense together, Alice decides to make her big move right away at a public event, where she forces Jacob to make a choice between saving Sophie or saving all the innocent civilians at the event. Wow, a psychopathic antagonist forcing a hero to make an impossible choice involving death by explosion. Where have I seen this kind of thing before? I guess Gozer isn't the only person in this show who can steal another man's work. But anyway, in comes Batwoman to save the day, and this scene prompted a few laughs and a few questions from me. How has she learned to use all of Batman's weapons and equipment with absolutely no training or preparation? How did she know to be here in the first place? Why didn't she kill Alice to remove the biggest threat right away? Why does her outfit look like someone stuck Ryan Johnson's head on the body of an anorexic child? Why am I even watching this show? So anyway, she beats Alice and saves Sophie, and they have a lovely moment where they stare into each other's eyes and have feelings, I guess. And I couldn't care less, to be honest. Then the episode ends with the revelation that Alice is actually Gozer's supposedly dead sister. Oh no, never saw that one coming, what a shock. And that's it, that's the first episode of Batwoman over, thank God. You know, reviewing this show makes me feel like a pretentious art critic giving serious consideration to the stick man drawn in crayon by a preschooler that just soiled themselves. It's just so basic and haphazard that it's hard to even make out the most basic elements of plot mechanics and character development. Everything about this show feels rushed and amateurish and dumb beyond belief. Batwoman copped a lot of well-deserved flack after that disastrous trailer a few months ago, whether because of the desperate pandering to girl power and diversity, the god-awful soundtrack, the active disrespect for the source material, the unlikable main character, or the unironic attempts to criticize people that take credit for her work when that's literally the basis of her entire character. But Batwoman's biggest failure is that it's just a terrible show. Every facet of its production feels like it's been done before, and done far better. The dialogue is so simplistic and clunky that it felt like fanfiction written by an adolescent girl with no understanding of the comic book universe or writing in general. The acting is beneath contempt. The people who try hardest are the ones with the least skill and ability, and it genuinely made me feel bad for them at times, while those who should have known better are just blatantly phoning it in so they can collect an easy paycheck. A lot of the problems stem from the star of the show herself. See, Ruby Rose isn't really an actress in the normal sense. I mean, she looks kinda striking and, different, but she can't really convey a range of emotions like she's supposed to. She can do cocky and self-confident, but when she tries to look concerned, she just comes across as confused, and when she tries to look angry, she just looks like a kid that's been told they can't have a flake in their ice cream. The end result is a protagonist who looks like she doesn't give a shit about anything, and as a result, she doesn't motivate the viewer to give a shit about her. The rest of the characters are all dumb, over-the-top stereotypes who think and behave in ways that no real person ever would. The action scenes are boring and cheap, and tonally, they occupy a dull middle ground where they're neither violent, gory, and gritty, nor over-the-top and stylized. In terms of plot, there's nothing remotely smart or different or unexpected going on here. It's a bog standard mix of family drama, romance, and a superhero wrestling with their alter ego. And if you don't see the final twist coming within the first 5 minutes, then you're most likely a character in this show. And it doesn't help that the episode is bookended by an obnoxious voiceover from Ruby Rose, literally telling us what's going on, as if this is all some diabolically complex mystery that we couldn't possibly wrap our heads around without her help. In short then, for all the storm of controversy and bullshit swirling around Batwoman, the show itself is nothing but a dull, uninspired, lame and boring attempt to retell a classic superhero story that's been done 100 times over, with its one and only distinguishing feature being the sexuality of its hero. And honestly, who even cares? Anyway, that's all I have for today. Go away now.